Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another Greater DAOR webinar. Today's webinar is RPR, the Realtor's Property Resource. I really want to show you how to become the local market expert of any specific area. RPR is a really great resourceful tool. It shows on and off market properties, and one of the greatest things about that is that it does allow you to search properties that are outside of our MLS. That's something that's really neat. Another great feature of RPR is your mailing labels. You can prompt a search whether you're looking for distressed or short-sale properties, and you can start building mailing labels to those homes. Additionally, RPR allows you to create really detailed reports, a really great tool when you are trying to build branded reports that you can send in PDF format. There's a lot to do in RPR, and we'll go ahead and do that overview. I am going to begin the webinar momentarily, going to allocate just a couple of more minutes to allow everyone to sign on, get onto the MLS, their member or realtor portal, and get into RPR. Once again, the webinar will begin momentarily. We will be starting the webinar at 10:05. All right, and fantastic, everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing well this morning. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to another Greater DAOR webinar. As always, today's webinar is RPR, the Realtor Property Resource. I want to show you how to become that local market expert, show you how to use RPR and a couple of different features. RPR does have a mobile app that we will try to go through with time permitting, so that you can see how much ease of use that you have with that mobile application. Once again, we're going to go over mailing labels, going over different reports that you're able to build, as well as property information. RPR is a really resourceful tool because it takes on and off market property information. So you pretty much can find any property that you're looking for or any details that you need. So as always, we're going to start our webinar by logging into the Greater DAOR, getting caught up with all news, current information. We can find additional webinar classes in this blue banner, as well as our COVID Resource Center in yellow. We're going to go ahead and log into the MLS login so that we can get to our dashboard. From our dashboard, we can find RPR. It is a CRMLS additional product. We see detailed property and market information. We're going to go ahead and click and launch into RPR. This is our home right here. We're going to go ahead before we start any benefit, making sure we are going into the profile and settings. And we want to make sure all of that information is current, relevant, and up to date. This is where all the information is going to be stored for RPR. Your photos, for your reports, and for your branded, all of your contact information, your phone, your fax, your emails, your MLS. We can see that I am linked to the CRMLS. your license number, any assistant users. And to the right, you do have the options to see your RPR mobile access. We can see when it was added, any connected apps. I do have ZipForm connected. RPR is a really great resource if you're a buyer's agent and you're trying to start that offer and you're trying to pull property information into your forms. You can use RPR to pull out all that property information. Now, RPR is also a resourceful tool if you're trying to list, because RPR, you can pull information from off-market properties. So they don't have to be active for you to pull that information. I would just note that if you are pulling off-market information into your zip forms, to just kind of double check to make sure that that information is accurate. We're going to go ahead and move into the settings tab. Here we just get our retentions for our searches, residential and commercial. But the biggest thing is we do get to see these home areas, and these home areas are just going to be hot sheets that take us directly into those new active listings or whatever criteria we've set up for these home areas. Additionally, you do have the resource center, the learning resource center. Any page you're on in RPR, if you click on that little learning resource, you'll see the top questions for that page and some insights. We're going to go ahead and take it back home to our home tab because we see a couple of things here. We're able to see any recent properties we visited. We're able to see any recent searches we've completed and any recent reports we've made for a property. We also can find our reports. They're all housed in our reports library. If we go ahead and click on our reports tab, it'll take us to building a report. Now this is the property that I've built the previous report on, which is why it's still here, but we'll go ahead and go back home. And now we see that we have a few different searches here. So we can do all properties, just for sale or for lease, but we also have the ability to search through neighborhoods. This is going to pull us up the summary, the quality of life, information and facts about the neighborhood, median sales, median income. We can pull up a schools report so that we can see a list of the different schools in the area for our clients. Any specific areas like in Whittier, we can see the ratings of the schools, as well as market activity for any area as well. We're going to go ahead and do an all property search. I do want us to note that there is an advanced search option for when we are looking for all properties. We can show either non-distressed or distressed. It just depends what we're looking for and what we want to include. Now, additionally, we can search just by owner or keyword, property type. But if we get a little bit more specific into for sale, this is where we have the ability to show non-distressed or foreclosure bank owned, pre-foreclosure or auction, or short sales. So a lot of people love using RPR to pull up, just foreclosed or bank owned properties. And then from there, they're able to pull up the mailing labels, which we will go through momentarily. So we're going to go ahead and pull up a for sale, and we'll go ahead and search. We'll go ahead and search Whittier, California. Now we can do a very detailed search, which we will. We'll go ahead and do 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. We want to keep it active and non-distressed and single family. And we'll go ahead and search. So now RPR is going to load all of those searches from those criteria. Additionally, we can filter the results. We see how many properties have prompted in Whittier, 35. We can continue to filter the results along the left. So if we want to change that search up a little bit. We see all of our properties along the middle, but we can change that from a list view to a map view, which we also have along the right here. And if we go into bigger map, that's another way to get to this map view. From the map view, we can easily pinpoint out the different properties, or we can even draw specific shapes so we can single out custom areas that we can pull things like mailing labels from. Now, the map itself has a lot of neat features. We can use map pins to do drive times or distance from particular areas. We also have the ability to show different geographies, counties, census tracts, zip codes, school districts. Now, I do want us to note that all of these maps that I'm able to create, I can save these maps. I can save this search or save the map, and I can apply that map to any one of my reports. So a couple of neat things that I can do on the map is changing the map from road to gray or aerial. But additionally, we have these points of interest that we can point out for our clients. When we are pulling up a particular home report, we can show a map, and on the map, we can have things like banks, if that's important, and see where those all prompt up. Let's go ahead and do post offices. And at any time, you can save those as your default points of interest so that those can be seen. Now, right underneath that map view, we'll still have that list view, similarly to just going to the list. All along the right, you have how the city compares when you're doing like a neighborhood report. And it's showing you how the city compares to the state or the county. We see 12-month change, median list price. So RPR is always just filling you with information. We're going to go ahead and check out a property. So once we see a property that we like, and we can't sort these from the results, as well as days active in RPR, the address, and we're going to go ahead and click into the property. So we get a bunch of things going on in this property. This is an active property. We can see that it is for sale and newly active. We have the option to save the property by starring it, and that will save us. We do have saved properties tab, and I'll show you that back at the home. But we have along the top, we have a summary tab, the history of the property, analytical charts so that you can apply to your reports. We have a refined value tab that a lot of agents love using even for off-market properties, because you're able to show how different changes to the property, such as adjustments or some kind of renovation, can directly attribute to the price, the sale price. We have comp analysis and neighborhood reports specifically for this address and how this address applies to the neighborhood. Now, when we are in the summary tab, right, we see the list price, list date, and ID. We have this RVM. Now, the RVM is the Realtor Valuation Model. And what that is that is RPR taking all of the data, local, on and off market, and comprising a valuation to the home based on the surrounding comps. So we can see what RPR has said that the RVM is, and we can see what it was actually listed for. Now, additionally, we can see the refined value or any comp analysis. And that goes for any property that we particularly view. Let's go ahead and go down the list and pull up a different property. Once again, we get the list price and we get the RVM price. We see something like the basic facts, 4 bedrooms, 5 homes. We can see the photos, a street view, an overhead view. Take us to the virtual tours, historical photos, any notes, the home facts, price change history, listing details, right? You get a complete summary, the schools report, and a legal description, any mortgage or tax and deed records. Additionally, we can go ahead and go into the history tab. It's going to show us some of that same information, just in a different form, different metrics. We see, clicking over any one of this graph, we can see listing activity. We can see assessed values, financing activity. We can see prior sales transactions, and we're doing public and listing records, and we can go as far back as those records go. We can see this information in charts. The median estimated home value, median sales price, the listing inventory, So you're getting a lot of information from this one home specifically and the area around it. Now, is this all beneficial to you at any given point? That's to be decided by you, but there's a lot that you can come in here and see and check. So at any time, if you're doing a property in Whittier and that's an area that you maybe aren't too familiar with, you can come through and kind of see a lot of different metrics based on Whittier, based on the property, based on the comps around the property to kind of help you with either your listing or the offer that you're going to put in. A great tool with the listing or the offer is this refined value when you are trying to look for the value of the property. We have a couple of different ways we can refine the value. So we can refine the value of the property by adjusting basic facts of the property, whether we know that there's more bedrooms or how many total rooms or number of stories. Additionally, we can refine the value based on any home improvements. So maybe we've done a bathroom remodel, and this was completed in February of last year. Now we can put up how much we spent for this remodel, and we'll see how much directly goes back into the property based on the current market. So this is based on the current market. And you see we can add any improvements made to the home to improve the accuracy of its estimated value. And we can see that change made. And this change made can be added to the report, the refined value report. And we can refine those values based on needed improvements. And because you are the local market expert, you can refine the value based on market and home conditions, whether that the market conditions are hot, whether those exterior conditions are superior or inferior to comparable homes, the lot size, the view, or the privacy. And that's going to change that refined value just to show you how much would actually go directly into the home by doing something like a bathroom remodel. Additionally, we do have a comp analysis tab so that we can build comp analysis and send those. When we have the subject property, all we're going to do is come into the comp analysis tab. From here, it's just going to ask us to confirm the facts. We're going to keep these true. I'm not the listing agent of this, nor am I the buying agent, but we would always want to confirm those facts first. We can find comps and get an average of the comps, and there's two ways to do that. We can search for comps that we want to use by a known property, or we can search an area for several properties, and we can kind of just detail what it is that we're looking for. So we're only looking active for sale or sold, and we will keep the same beds and baths, or the same beds, and then we'll search. Now this will start pulling up all the properties on the map, and we can, from the map, click on any and view them. Underneath, we do have a list view. We see there are 44 sold properties found and 11 for sale properties found. And all we would do is go through them. We can click on them individually, which will take us to a brand new page back with their summary. And if we want to use one of the comps, we would just select Add to Comp List. And we see that we'll start building a range based on these comps. And once we've found those comps, we can either use them by opening in another window and saving them for whatever purpose, or we can take the next step, step 5, and use these comps to get a seller's report. We're going to go ahead and go into the neighborhood report. This would be the same as going to the home search and going into the neighborhood search and typing in Whittier. We would be pulling up the neighborhood for Whittier. And we see that we get the summary, some housing information, the information on people and the economy and the quality of life. So we see median estimated home value changes over the last month. We see a couple of different population of children by age group. So maybe you have a client who doesn't want to be around too many children. Maybe you have a client, a little bit of an older client who wants to kind of just take it easy for a little bit, doesn't want to have too much noise. You can see that. We can see the population of adults by age group for Whittier. We're going to go ahead and go into the housing. We can see some information from the housing as well. We see median estimated home values, the median list price for the area. We see how Whittier compares to the county or to the state. We see the prices range, sizes of homes, number of bedrooms. This will help you if you're looking for your offer, if you're looking for how much you should list it. RPR is a great resource for that to kind of get a feel of the area. Getting into the people, we see the population. We see population density, the median age, education levels, households with children, the income brackets, occupational categories. We get a lot in here, even presidential voting patterns. For if your client wants to kind of stay in an area with people who have, some of the same mindsets as them. Additionally, we can go into the economy tab, see some information about the economy. And there's a lot to use in RPR. It's just a really great resourceful tool to get information about a particular area. Income per capita, median household income, the unemployment number. We can see the unemployment rate, how much it's gone up just since April or March. And finally, we can go into the quality of life for that area, the annual rainfall, the days of full sun, the average travel time to work. We see average commute times, how people get to work, and monthly temperatures. As we see at the top right, at any time we could have created a report. So I'm going to come back home. And now I'm going to show you all the properties we save. We see we have the option for those saved properties. Here in this save section, this is where we get our market activity in our home areas that we defined in our settings. To automatically prompt and pull, it will pull up the market activity for Whittier. This is just a market update, just letting you know that 459 properties just were updated, but you can filter those results for whatever you're looking for specifically. We're going to go ahead and go into a saved property. And at any time that we wanted to, we can go ahead and click on the create a report at the top right. From here, we'll see that we have the report type to choose. So we have our subject property and the report to choose. We have property reports, seller reports, property flyers, mini property reports, and at any time you can just show a sample. This will give you a little description. A property report is a comprehensive look at an individual property. You see how many pages it'll be, and you can kind of go through and see how RPR will actually display that information. Now you get to control what information goes on there by clicking on more details. All you have to do is uncheck elements you wish to hide in the report. Now you do have the option to insert custom pages, and that custom pages can actually be manage custom pages right here to the right. But we have the option to deselect or uncheck any elements that you wish to hide. And if you want to see what it would look like, that little info icon hovering over it. The summary includes a map of the neighborhood, listing price where available, and the basic property facts. If we didn't want that, we'd go ahead and deselect it. Now we have sellers reports, property flyers. The property flyer is a marketing piece for an individual property featuring a photo selected by the user. This is a great resource to have. Maybe pull up a property flyer for a distressed property. You don't have to door knock. You can mail it to them by pulling up mailing labels, and you can send it to them and say, hey, if you need any help, here you can. I can help you. And all you would do after you select the report is personalize your report, right? Whether you want to include the recipient name, a message. So let's go ahead and do a property flyer. And now it says select the photo you want to use on the report. So we see the different photos on the MLS, and we'll go ahead and click on that one. We have any uploaded photos that we wanted, a headline. So maybe maybe this headline will be like, any description. You see the property value to display. We'll go ahead and do the list price. And we can suppress the MLS number, suppress the school district, suppress the subdivision. Now, additionally, along the right, so we see our report, but along the right, we have the option to select additional elements. So whether we want our name, the title, our agent info, our license number, our work phone, either one of these that we want on there. Additionally, we have our manage custom pages, and then we see our profile info. So whether this is what we changed in the settings, but now all we would do is personalize report. So this only applies to email notifications. That's the only time we have to personalize a report. And then the delivery method, whether we want to email it to someone specifically, which will CC yourself. But we're going to go ahead and display now. We'll run that report. So that property flyer is currently generating. It should take 3 minutes. A pop-up message will appear when it's ready. We get all of our pop-ups right here in this reports tab. We can see that I have one report has been requested. By clicking on the bell, you see I have the check mark on. Now I have the doorbell off. Now I have the doorbell on. So when we do get when that report is finished generating, we'll get a little ding letting us know that it is completed. Now I want to take you to a different report and show you the mini property report that I pulled up from last time that you're able to send. So you do get a PDF. So you see the mini property report, you see your information, your contact information, a message. You need anything, give me a call. And this is the mini property report. We got to choose what information was going to be on that report and stay on that report. And it is branded to yourself. You did see that at the beginning. And it's a very nice report. Now let's go ahead and build the property flyer. Let's see this. So we see the Fun in the Sun home. We got to choose the photo, little must see, and then we see I have all of my contact information right here, who it was presented by. So really neat little, look at for sale, offered at $630, kind of little property flyer just for that. And when you are ready to do those mailing labels, as I said, we can go ahead and do home. And let's do something a little fun. Let's go ahead and do for sale. And let's go ahead and do Downey, California. But we're going to do things such as because we want either foreclosure, bank owned, or pre-foreclosure and auction. Let's see if we can do a search from that. Well, that's good. There were no specific results found. But let's go ahead and do all properties. And let's try it again. Let's do Downey. I want to show you how to pull those mailing labels, but I only want distressed properties. So now I'm searching distressed properties. And anytime we see those distressed properties, right, they're all in red. Now what we do is one of two ways. We can go onto the map view. And from here, we can either create a custom area so that we can print those mailing labels. Or if we come back to the list view, we see we have 51 results. Either from the list or from the map, if we click on the mailing labels, we're getting taken to that mailing label page. We see how many I have every single month. I get 2,000 a month, so I still have 2,000 remaining. And we see how many would be exported, so 51. And this is just the layout, how you're going to customize it, whether it's tax billing or property, and who it's addressed to, and any filters that you want so that they don't pool. We want to filter out any owner-occupied or absentee owners, and then we would just print those out, and you'd get your mailing labels. And additionally, if we came onto the map view, and if we, let's draw a shape and kind of do a polygon. And we'll go ahead and just single out this specific area. So we can search in this area and we see how many results were pooled so that we can pool the mailing labels for those 4 exports. So we're going to go ahead and go back home. I just wanted to show you that you do have those ability to pool those mailing labels. You get 2,000 every single month. RPR, really great resource, especially when you're trying to look for things that maybe are outside. I have a couple agent who called me the other day and was looking to view properties in Kern County. And he was having difficulty. He was going to have to join secondary to just observe the property that he was looking at. What we did is we were able to do a search result for Kern County and pull up properties, and we were actually able to find the property that he was looking for specifically. So RPR is a really powerful tool. Because of that, it's almost like a backdoor to some of the active properties in different areas. So I wanted to show you that as a resource right there. Additionally, we can pull up from San Diego. We've done some from San Diego that we've pulled up. So you can pull up properties pretty much from anywhere because RPR is using on and off market data. I'm going to go ahead and try to turn this over to the RPR mobile. I wanted to show you that a little bit. I am going to go ahead and turn this over to any questions that you have. Please feel free to type those in that little question mark or the Q&A area if you have any specific questions on RPR. We're going to try to change course here just a little so I can kind of go over that RPR mobile. So perfect. Hopefully no one is having any difficulty seeing my phone. We're going to go ahead and go into RPR. I did download the mobile app. I am using my iPhone, taking me directly into the RPR. One of a neat feature that I like, which is just something specifically, is that I get the Face ID by using the Apple. So that's loading the data from our properties. We see that Downey is our home area. So we can see right now a hot sheet, 6 for sale properties, 1 new listing, 3 recently sold, 2 for lease. And we can easily click into any one of those of that hot sheet. This was my home area that I've just singled out in here. Now we can move right and left. I'm just moving to the right. We see some more information for Downey, California, right? This is a search all properties in Downey. So we see local market conditions. Here, additionally, we can search a specific area and do a specific search. And we can go directly to my listings, my market activity, school reports. So if we go to my market activity, we see the different hot sheets that we've selected. And we can move over to Whittier, California, give us that map view. From here, we can do things such as sort or filter or do a report or save this search. We do have the more little area that does give you a lot more. We can draw on the map, view parcels, view schools, the traffic or travel time or distance. A lot of great resources when we're using the RPR mobile. We're easily able to do the map legend and kind of filter those results. I'm going to go ahead and go back Just wanted to show you that those are the three when we're going through. Additionally, though, we can go right down to any reports that we've pulled, and we can start a new report if we wanted to start a new report. You saw that we had the ability from the phone to start a buyer tour. And we would just be selecting the property and going through that. RPR Mobile, really quick at making those reports. Any recent or saved searches, we still have them and can access them from RPR Mobile. We see that I've done one client search for Whittier, 3-bedroom, 2-bath that I can prompt at any time. We can do a search at any single time from the top, or come up and see where we are on the map and do a map search. We do have the settings at any single time to change that, and that's the welcome guide, your profile, your user settings. And whether you want to look for residential or commercial properties, you can switch that directly from the RPR. So I just wanted to show you the RPR Mobile. Pretty streamlined, pretty self-explanatory, just gives you a little bit more insight. You can pretty much use it just as powerfully as you can RPR from the desktop. If there aren't any specific questions, then this is definitely, I just wanted to show you that RPR is a great resource for that. If you are looking for information on an area, maybe it's an area that you're not familiar with, or maybe you're just trying to pull up specific information for your client. Guys, as always, if you have any questions or need any help with your benefits, please call me here at the office, 562-861-0915, or send me an email to outreach@daor.com. It is my job to help you guys with your benefits, and there's a lot of great resources right now. Make sure you do turn on tomorrow. We will be doing our cloud series, Cloud CMA, MLX, and Streams. The cloud products are a really great resource. And if you think that RPR gives you branded reports, some of the reports and the CMAs from Cloud CMA are just beautiful. They're actually beautiful and mesmerizing. And you can do a live presentation, which helps a lot, depending on what you're trying to do and what content, and whether you're a listing agent or a buyer's agent. Guys, as always, have a greater DAOR day. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you guys tomorrow.